Trump's maximum pressure tactic has prevailed once again. The outside world had speculated that the Liberal Democratic Party's election defeat would likely affect U.S.-Japan trade negotiations, but no one expected Trump to act so preemptively, directly announcing the conclusion of an agreement with Japan. The deal stipulates that the United States will impose a 15% reciprocal tariff on Japanese goods, while Japan will invest $550 billion in the United States. It is widely believed that this marks Japan's second surrender to the United States 40 years after the Plaza Accord. Upon the news reaching Japan, netizens were devastated, furiously accusing Taro Kishida of treason and demanding his immediate resignation to apologize. Why have the Japanese reacted so strongly? Don't be fooled into thinking Trump made concessions to seal the deal quickly just because the tariff rate is only 15%. But in fact, in this agreement, tariffs are the least significant part, other clauses are truly fatal. Let's start with the most serious one, the $550 billion investment in the United States. Many people may not grasp the magnitude of this figure. In 2024, Japan's trade surplus with the U.S. was only $62 billion, while its total global trade surplus during the same period was a mere $34 billion. In other words, $550 billion is roughly equivalent to more than 8 years of Japan's trade surplus with the U.S., or nearly 17 years of Japan's total foreign exchange earnings. It's not just about the $550 billion investment. The U.S. is demanding 90% of the returns from this investment, leaving only 10% for Japan. This is practically no different from directly seizing $550 billion from Japan. Additionally, Japan is required to lift trade restrictions to allow U.S. automobiles, rice, and other goods into its market. That means the U.S. is not only siphoning off Japan's investment funds but also forcing Japan to purchase American goods after the investment. The direct cost will definitely exceed $550 billion. The only glimmer of hope for the Japanese is that the details of the agreement have not been made public, and no specific timeline has been set for the $550 billion investment. If Japan can delay the investment of $550 billion over the next 20 to 30 years, the damage will be much less severe. But if this investment amount is to be achieved within the next 2 or 3 years, it would be a devastating blow to Japan. Japan would have no choice but to borrow heavily from the United States to pay for this sum. If that were to happen, Japan would be completely finished. After all, Japan is a typical island economy, and foreign exchange earnings are its lifeline. Right now, the United States is essentially seizing that lifeline. Japan's foreign exchange earnings for a long time to come would all be used to repay debts to the United States. It would be impossible for Japan to avoid collapse in such a scenario. What's most critical now is that there must be internal traders in Japan. As mentioned in reports, one of them is Akazawa Ryo, Japan's minister in charge of economic revitalization who participated in the negotiations. This group of people is using this agreement to force Kishida Taro into a corner. Additionally, Japan has opened its market to U.S. agricultural products, a red line that successive Japanese governments have strongly opposed. This will inevitably deal a severe blow to Japan's fragile agricultural sector. As we all know, Japan is one of the United States' closest allies. Since World War II, it has fully aligned itself with the U.S., following Washington's lead in both economic and military affairs. In recent years, it has also actively cooperated with the U.S. strategy to contain China, showing unwavering loyalty. Yet even such a loyal lackey has not escaped Trump's scythe, being forced to sacrifice its own interests to feed the United States. It's no wonder Japanese netizens lament that they have been forced to sign a hellish treaty.